Okay, good morning, guys. It's Friday today. I'm just about to put together all the parts of the live trade from Tuesday. So it was a losing trade, as you'll see in the video. What I want to go over quickly is I get quite a lot of emails each week with people saying to me things like, "I want to be a professional trader. This is how much I need to make a week," or "This is how much profit I need to make per day. Can your system do this?" or "How do I do this?" I always tell people the exact same thing. Trading doesn't work that way. You can't go into trading needing to make a certain amount a day, a certain amount a week, even a certain amount a month, because it's all probabilities based. I've spent the majority of this week now getting back to break even, which happens. I could quite easily have had more losses and had a down week. What's happened this week is today I'm finished for today. It's 9:30 in the morning, £530 profit. So for the week, that is £570 in profit now. So I end up in profit. As you know, my target for the week is between 2,000 and 2,500. So still in profit, but nowhere near target. Now what this means, what you have to understand is, let's say you come into trading and you say to yourself, I only need to make £200 a week. That's my target. That will allow me to live. Now, I've made a quarter of my target this week. So you have to understand that on certain weeks you may make £50. Certain weeks you're going to break even. Certain weeks you're going to suffer losses. That is all part of trading, guys. It's something you need to be very aware of, especially if you want to do this full time. Because if you don't, you're going to end up chasing the money and you'll end up doing a lot of damage to your trading account. After the loss on Tuesday, I didn't change anything. I followed my trading plan. I didn't up my stake sizes trying to make the money back. I didn't alter the trades that I was looking for. And also, my target for each day is 1%. That did not change. I did not suddenly start looking for 2%, 3%, trying to make back the losses. My trading plan works because it suits my personality. I've perfected it over the years, and that's why I'm back into profit for the week. So I'm going to put together the video now of the losing trade. Hopefully you find it helpful. Give me some comments below if you've got any questions about it, and I hope you've all had a great trading week. I'm James Orr, and thank you. Okay, we're still before the open here. We're at 750. We've pushed higher and rejected, and then we've came down and produced this pin bar right here. So I am going to take that as my signal for the buy, rather than waiting on the candle at the open. So if I do break the high of this candle, I would just take it as an entry. The key thing with positions before the open is the spread is larger. So instead of it being 1 point, it's 2 points. Also, when you enter into the market before the open, quite often the 8 o'clock open is very volatile, so you just need to watch, you just need to be a bit careful. So yeah, if it triggers in, I'll put the video back on and let you see the trade. It may just come down, we'll wait and see, and then I will turn the video back on. Okay, so we are pushing up, there we go, that's my signal. It should trigger me in. There we go, so you can see it's a minus 1.5. It would have been minus 2, which is the spread for the open, but it's obviously just popped up a little bit as my entry has triggered. So I'm now in the trade. I'm going to watch up here, 6,415. I'm actually expecting a fair amount of resistance up here, but just the way the market has set up now, I am happy to take this breakout trade. I'll talk you through it in a little bit more detail after the open, after the trade completes one way or the other. So right now, I'm not expecting much to happen now before the open, and whatever does happen, to be honest, it's not going to affect my decision. I will wait now until after the market opens. I mean, that's when London Stock Exchange opens, that's when the orders start coming into the market. So I'm not going to make a decision based on pre-market trading to come out of this trade now. It's set up exactly the way I wanted. It's giving him a signal. So I'm now in the trade. So what I'll do, I'll pause it again. If it starts moving significantly, I'll turn it back on. If not, I'll turn it back on at just before the open. Okay, so we're just about to open. We can see the last candle has shown strong rejection again. That's us open. And we're bouncing up. Now, the 8 o'clock open can go pretty hectic, which is exactly what it's doing now. It might just come all the way down now and just stop me out. Especially with the pin before the open. So we're just watching now. There's nothing really much I can say as the trade's going on. I'm just going to move this rectangle. Nothing really much I can say. The 8 o'clock candle is very volatile. It'll bounce around a lot. It may just come down, stop me out. It may crash all the way through. I would expect it to come down and test these areas. Anyway, although I don't really want it breaking all the way down. So I'll just let it run. Don't necessarily need to talk through the whole thing. What I will do is, after the trade, I'll give you the reasoning and go over the checklist that I went through before I took the trade. So it's looking fairly negative. I was expecting a lot more buyers to step in down here. It's not happened. Okay, so it's coming right down, minus 16 now. And there's a possibility this will be a losing trade now. It's not reacted at any of the areas I was expecting it to react. So what am I doing here for this trade? Trade's moved against me. What I'm doing is I'm just watching the market. I'm not altering anything. I'm not suddenly trying to go short, exit in this position because it's produced a strong bearish run. I'm not doing anything. I mean, the market moves how the market moves. You make your decision before you enter the trade. It should always be based on your trading rules. It should always be based on what the market is telling you, how you're evaluating the market. So you shouldn't be altering positions. It's a really big problem with people who are learning how to trade. So they'll try and never be wrong, or if they are wrong, they'll instantly try and reverse the position and go the opposite way. The problem is, by the time they make that decision, quite often the market has made the move that it was going to make in that direction, and then once again they're in a losing trade again. So I'll never do that. If you have a losing trade, you have a losing trade. That's just what happens. It's a very strong bearish bar. However, until it breaks down below these sort of lows here, these lows here, this pin here, that's when I'll consider it a losing trade. Let's have a look. So I mean, yeah, it is still very negative now. Just gonna get rid of this. The key is there's not really many buyers coming in, so it is looking like a losing trade. Just watching it for any sort of reaction now. It's in the area where I consider it a losing trade. off this just now. So push down, so some buyers are stepping in at 6,380. It's still very, very negative. Not really expecting it to turn around now. However, that's the thing with trading. You can't ever know 100% what you're doing. Basically, when you're trading, what you're doing is you're making hopefully very educated guesses. All you're doing is taking all the information available to you, taking it off the charts, taking it off the news, taking it off of candlestick patterns, previous price action, everything, and then you're making your decision. But at the end of the day, you can't be right 100% of the time. So it's reacting off of 6,380. See, we had a lot of reactions around this area. I didn't expect to get down that low, to be honest. So now what we're doing is, although we've came down and bulls have stepped in, so buyers have stepped in, we've came back up. We're testing the level at 6,388. Now, this happens all the time. It's important to, especially on lower time frames. So I'm sure you've all heard about, let me just get the little menu over here. So I'm sure you've all heard about, you know, if the market breaks through support, where is this? And it pushes back, it can then become resistance. Now, on the lower time frames, it doesn't have to break away like this. If you're in a trade and a candlestick like this comes through, then there will be some sort of reaction the next time it comes up into the, so support then becomes resistance. So you've seen it reacting, see it's reacting off of here now, 6,395. It's just what happens. It can actually calm you down a lot if you're in a trade and you see these reactions, because that's all that's happening. You know, if it was a good area for buyers to step in and it breaks through it, comes back, it'll be a good area for sellers to be looking. I'm just going to move the rectangle again. If the rectangle's set like that, you can't see the pin on the candle, so it's good to just move it out of the way. So we are pushing slightly higher. It's still not particularly positive yet. What I'll do is I'll pause it. I'll come back when it starts to move one way or the other. Okay, so we've pushed up, we got back into break even, we rejected again. The market has fallen away now, so still looking very negative. It's very near my stop, very near where I would close the position out. I'm just watching it though and waiting to see what happens. So you can see this is what I'm talking about, where we've broken through, we've gone back up. It gets to, this is R1. You can see it's reacted off of it a little bit. I'll just zoom in a little bit. You know, if it gets past this, it'll do the exact same here. If it gets past that, it'll do the exact same at 6,395. I would have turned this on a little bit earlier, however I was away getting a coffee. I think coffee is a trader's best friend when they start early in the morning. I start my market analysis sort of 5:30 to 6 o'clock, going over everything, setting up my zones, looking into news releases. So coffee does sometimes help. So there you go, there's a strong reaction. So although up here is the 6,400 level, which, you know, it's almost guaranteed to get some sort of a reaction. We have had the reaction. It did set up in all other ways for my trade to go long. So when that happens, I follow my rules, take the trade. So the low of this one was 6380.8, and you can see my stop is 6376.8. So we were 4 points from being stopped out. So we are producing both very strong bearish bars here. We've not really had any very strong bullish bars yet. They've all shown rejection. So we'll see how this one closes here. What I'll do is I'll add to the video when it's finished, giving a time that you can just skip along to if you want to skip the live trade, because live trades are always different. You can't know how long they're going to be. This one's now at almost 18 minutes. We have slowed down somewhat in the way the price is moving. So what I'll do is I'll pause it again. If it comes back down to these lows, I'll turn it back on. If it starts breaking up, I'll turn it back on. Okay, we're coming down again. It's pretty clear that it's fairly negative. Hopefully, I'm sure you can all see that. It's just moving relatively slow. It's not really making significant moves yet. So there we go. I'm expecting this one to come down now. Sorry, that was an alarm in the background. So it is trying to come down now. Looking like high probability is going to come down now. And when you get bars like this that look bearish and then they push all the way back up, your key is, you see how it's stopping up here. It's not pushing into a bullish bar. Pushes into a bullish bar, it's slightly more positive. There you go, it's slightly more positive now. However, it's always a good indicator that the market is going to continue its whatever run it's giving you. If it does that, if it falls all the way down, goes up, and then it pauses right as it's either a doji or just as there's still a tiny little bearish body. Usually it's just pausing up there, waiting for more sellers to come in, then it rams itself back down again. I was actually expecting that one to come down into the stop, but it's pushing back up and testing the 6388 level again. So what are we at? We're at almost 24 minutes of video now. I'll pause it again, turn it back on when this bar is about to complete. Unless it starts, falling all the way down, then I'll just turn it back on as it nears the stop. Okay, just going to add to the video quickly. We've not really gone anywhere yet. Nothing's really happened. Produced another pin bar down here. So I have entered into a second position. You don't have to do this. A lot of traders don't like to be in more than one position at a time. My rules are I can enter into two positions. So got the signal, came down at 6388.3, produced the pin bar, and we tried to push down again, we rejected, broke the high on this one, so I'm now in two positions. If they lose, that will be me done for the day. That's part of my rules. So yeah, you just have to trade how you're comfortable. Your rules should always be based on your personality, what you feel comfortable with, what you can cope with in the market. A lot of people, if they have two losses, they'll maybe freak out, they'll start emotional trading. You need to be able to be disciplined and always follow your rules. Okay, so not a lot's happening. I believe there's a bit of news coming out at 9 o'clock. I think it's German news, so it may not have much of an effect on the FTSE, but you never know. So it's always just good to be a little bit careful. So yeah, I'll pause it and I'll come back if anything happens once again. So the market's coming down now. It's looking like it's going to break down. It pushes through the 6380 level. There'll probably be a lot of stops down here, so it will just come down quite quickly and stop me out. And both stops will be at the same level, although this one's down here. It's just because it won't allow me to move it up to here. There you go. Just because it's minimum stop right now is 12 points. It's been very choppy price action today. Actually, it's not really done much of anything at all. So what's it doing? It's rejecting off of these pins here, off of these 3 candlesticks here. I mean, I was expecting this one to break down, and then I was expecting this one to break down, especially after this strong bearish bar. It's not done it yet. Yeah, so nothing much is really happening, although it could be looking to close below R1, which is 6385.5. So I'm just getting ready to close this out. And the bottom one especially, because as I've said, I can't move the stop up. The first position will close out automatically, but this one I will close manually. So all I'm doing, I'm just watching, just waiting for this to come down. If it gets sort of like 14, just open up the manual window again, and then close it if it gets to 15. So we are bouncing back up, but it's still fairly negative just because it's broken that low. So we'll see what happens. It's below R1 now. See what happens the last sort of 30 seconds of the candle. I mentioned a few times, that's often when you'll get the overall view of what the candle wants to do. Or what the market wants to do, sorry, not the candle. Okay, so still not popped down. All I'm doing now, just follow my rules. I'm just waiting for, if it gets to minus 15 on this one, close it out. This one will close automatically. I used to be able to just sit with this window open like this and then hit OK when it got down to minus 15, but since they've updated Pro Real Time you can't do that anymore, which is very annoying. Okay, just for the sake of video length, what I'll do is I'll pause it and I'll turn it back on if I'm being stopped out. It might be just after I get stopped out, because obviously I'll be more interested in closing out my position than turning on the recording software. And the only other time I'll turn it on is if it starts pushing up into these areas again. So just to keep the video as short as possible, because I mean I'm already up at, I don't even know, maybe like 40 minutes on this, and then they've got the review video to add before and after also. Okay, so it looks like we're pushing back up. We came down here at 905. The low was 378.8. You can see the stop is 376.8. So I mean I was 2 points away from being stopped out. To be honest, probably a point and a half by the time the spread was taken into consideration. I would have probably been stopped out if it came down another point and a half. I would have exited both positions, would have had a loss on both of them, and then we've started pushing our way higher, and now one of the positions is back into a very slight profit. So I mean, this is why it's very important to follow your rules. Even although I thought this candle was going to break down, I definitely thought this candle was going to break down after it broke the lows here. However, the stop's the stop. You know, I don't change it unless I get very clear signals. And where the stop was, I would have had to have had the market touch the stop, take me out. Sometimes I'll exit if I get price action breaking through a zone and giving me certain signals, and say my stop's way down here. But yeah, I didn't get that. The market's now pushing up. It may still turn around, come back down. You never know. I do have losing trades. I definitely have losing trades. I just seem unable to catch them on video for some reason. But I mean, we are still pausing up here. Still a bit of resistance at 6,395. So it may just turn around again back down here. But I mean, we have had lots of rejection down here now. There's a lovely pin bar here, another one here, another one here, engulfing candle here. If my rules allowed me to enter into 3 positions, I would have entered into another position after this bar. However, it doesn't, so I didn't. Maximum for me is 2 positions, and even then I don't do that very often. I'm not too much a fan of having 2 positions open. But yeah, so I mean, we're going to get some resistance here. It might still turn around and come back down. What I'm probably going to do with this video now is I was going to add it to the review video, which will be posted on the Wednesday. However, I'll probably just take this as a standalone live trade now and post it on Friday, just because it's too long to add to that video. So yeah, it still may come back down again. Sometimes the market does push itself back up into an area where it knows sellers will step in, especially if we're in a sort of range like this. One other thing I want to go over is when I'm in positions, I sort of micromanage. You probably heard me talking, for example, with this candle here, I remember I said it's probably going to close below R1. This is just the sort of thing that I do. It's the sort of thing I do in my head. I talk myself through basically every candle that forms, telling myself what it's doing, telling myself what I'm expecting it to do. It's one of the ways I use to silence the voice that is telling you to do all the wrong things, basically. So what I did say is, after this candle, if people had been going long, I know so many people would have exited this and then gone short, trying to catch this move. Well, you can see they would now be in negative. It might still come back down, but this is why it's very important not to make your decisions on what you think the market is doing. You have to actually properly watch the market, analyze it, and then make your decisions. So we can see we've pushed up. We are showing quite strong rejection now. So we're going to see what happens. But it is important. I mean, there's so many different ways you can look at a market. I mean, I'm just going to take a few that I can see. So you could look at this as a rising wedge. You could look at, let's have a look here. You could look at this as a triangle. You could look at this as a double bottom. Oops. So that would be a double bottom. There's so many different ways to look at a market, analyze a market. So different traders do it in different ways. So it's important to just have your methods and just stick to your methods. You don't want to be, I mean, there'll be traders that are looking at moving averages crossing over each other. There'll be traders looking at what side of the moving average the market is sitting at. So many different ways to trade. It's important to just find your niche, find your edge, and hone it. Just hone it, work on it, constantly try to improve it, but don't try and master every single trading method, because on any given day and on any given trade there'll be maybe 5, 6, 7 different setups based around your setup. So I mean, you can see my setup was there, but then we've had these pins, people will be going short, had another pin here, people will be going short, we had the engulfing candle for going short, then we had the double bottom, and we had the rising wedge. These are all in the exact same area of the market. I know for a fact that traders will be looking at all of these, making different decisions based on it. So it's very important just to have your trading method and just stick to it. That's all you need to focus on. If it works, that's all you need to focus on. So I mean, you can see the market's coming back down now. It might just come down and stop me out. It might have been pushing up there just to get the sellers, as I mentioned. Yeah, there's no way to know. So we're just going to watch it, see what happens. I'll probably pause it again, just because the video is turning into such a long video, and then I'll just play it again if it gets anywhere significant. Okay, so the market is coming down. And you can see it did push up. It looks like it was pushing up in order to get sellers to step into the market now. It's coming down. I'll close it out at 15, minus 15, if it gets down there. And that will be the trades completed. That will be the trades, losing trades. Because we've got so many tails down here, the market is quite hesitant down here. If it does make a strong push, though, it will break through these. That's why I keep turning the video back on, just so I can try and catch it. So I'm just letting it run, the video run. I mean, as always, you can skip along if you want. There's not always something to say, especially during a live trade, because there's I'm not making any decisions. The market's not telling me anything new. Right now, I'm just waiting to see if it pushes down. If it pushes down to minus 15, I close it. And if it doesn't, I leave the position open. So you can see we are getting some rejection, but we are also attempting to push higher. And we'll see what happens. I'm going to pause it again just because it is such a long video, as I keep mentioning, and then I'll come back if it starts to fall away. Okay, so as you can see, the market is falling down once again. It's getting close to the stop, to where I will exit, so I've just turned the video back on just in case it does come down and stop me out. And this is also quite often I get asked by people how long it takes me to trade, or how long I'm in a certain position. A lot of people say, oh, if I trade, can I be finished by 9 o'clock, or can I be finished by 10 o'clock? Every trading day is completely different. It's always what I say to them. It's completely true. I mean, I entered this position at 8 o'clock. It's now 10 past 10. I've still not been stopped out. I'm still nowhere near making target. I'm more likely going to be stopped out with the way the market is right now. However, it could take another half an hour, it could take another hour, or it could take another 30 seconds. It's impossible to know. Trying to predict that is basically trying to predict what millions of other traders around the world are going to do. I just can't do it. It's not possible. Although I must also say that with trading, quite often you can be finished early if your trading style allows that. I mean, my methods quite often, not quite often, but on a good few occasions I'm finished relatively early. I mean, yesterday I was finished by, I think it was around 8:30 in the morning. So that's the rest of the day left to me. There's not really any other job that allows that. Certainly not if you're working for someone else. So I mean, there have been lots of pins down here, pins of rejection. It's just because the market doesn't seem to be going anywhere to the upside. Every time it tries, it fails and pushes back down. You can see you created the flat tops here, which fell away. It then pushed up again, rejected and fell away instantly. And we're now sitting below R1, and the market is currently unable to get back above it. So I mean, it is negative. And here we go. This is looking like it's going to come down. So all I'm doing is just getting ready to close the position if it does come down. Just purely because this position, as I've mentioned, I can't bring the stop up to the 6376.8 level. So we're almost at the 376.8 level, which is where I am looking to close the position. There we go. So that one closed out automatically. So there you go. 2 losses on that position. Not quite 2 full position losses. One was a full position loss. One was a part position loss. So there you go. Losing trades, they do happen. You can't win all your trades. I've been trying to record a losing trade for quite some time now. So we opened above the 400. That was a positive signal to me. I was expecting the market to ramp up. It didn't. It rejected. It fell away. On the daily time frame was my other confirmation for that. and we had pushed up and then fallen away twice, and then in the morning we had pushed up with a strong rally. The trade didn't come in, so that's me had 2 losing trades. Probably just going to finish for the day now. I had an up day yesterday, so I've had a down day today, so I should be slightly down on the week now. It's all part of trading. That's what you need to come to understand, and you need to learn how to live with it. Okay, so I just want to add to this live trade video quickly. The reason for this is because it's something that you will have to learn to deal with in trading, especially when you have losing trades. So if we look, we got stopped out down here, right here. The market has then fallen down a further 2.4 points. It's then reversed, pushed higher, came down, retested this area and pushed higher once again. Now, oops, let's get rid of that. Trading this, now first of all we got stopped out by like 2.6 points, so that's just part of trading, something you have to get used to. That does happen on occasion. We had a losing trade rather than after the trade had bounced up here, fallen back and bounced back up here again. The second position was entry here, so this one would have been closed at a profit, and this position here would have been closed at break even. This is because after a second run up, so you've made your high here, higher low, you've made your higher high. After this, the stop would have been at break even, and the second position would have been closed out for a small profit. So instead of that, we had a loss. And it's unfortunate, 2.6 points. That is going to happen to you in trading. Now, what you need to learn how to deal with is the whole process of trading. Now, so we had this loss. First of all, it was a loss by 2.6 points, as I've mentioned. That means now that tomorrow and maybe even part of the next day will be me making back the loss, taking the account back to break even for the week. A lot of people struggle with that, especially if you trade, Monday to Friday. Comes to Friday, end of the business day, and you haven't made any money. But that is what trading is. Trading is not about making money every day, making money every week. It's about being consistently profitable overall. So you have to learn how to deal with that. It is going to happen. I'd expect to end the week probably a little bit in profit, to be honest. Not significantly, but you never know. I might end the week break even. I might end the week negative. What's even more difficult to deal with is having a break even month or a down month. But again, it is something that if you want to be a trader, first of all, you need to learn if you can deal with that, if it suits you. And secondly, if it does, you're going to have to learn how to deal with it. It's part of the business. It does happen. Okay guys, so that is the end of the video now. As always, do subscribe to Decisive Trading if you are learning how to trade. And yeah, I hope you have a great weekend. I'm James Orr. Thank you.